question she had typed into the app. "You went to the store, I guess time for dinner." She started typing on the tablet again before I finished talking, her fingers tapping loudly at the screen with urgency.
"I have to show you something."
Okay. I didn't like the way she was looking at me. Whatever it was she wanted to show me, I could tell that it wasn't going to be something good. She stared at me for a few moments, studying my face. As she looked at me, a single tear welled up in her right eye before rolling down her cheek. "What's wrong, Mom?" I didn't like the uneasy feeling that was settling over me. My stepmother wiped her cheek off with the back of her hand and then returned her attention to the tablet.
"Remember that music box I bought?"
"Yeah, I remember. She bought it a few weeks ago at a garage sale I'd made her stop at while we were on our way to eat lunch. I'd recently become addicted to vintage clothing and was always hoping to find something unique at one of those sales. I hadn't found anything that day, but she had. What about it?"
"There was a key to the master bedroom in it."
"A key? To the master bedroom?" She must have been confused, because none of the interior doors in the house had locks that required keys. And even if one of them did, the key to it wouldn't be in some antique music box that belonged to someone who'd never stepped foot into our house. My stepmother sighed in frustration and began typing a new message.
"I'm not crazy."
My stepmother glared at me as it delivered her message. The intensity of her gaze made me uncomfortable, forcing me to look away. When I did, I happened to look over at the screen displaying all of her vital signs. Her pulse was rising fast, and that wasn't a good thing in her condition. "Where's the key now?" I asked, trying to placate her in an effort to bring her pulse down. I was hoping she'd calm down if I acted as if I believed her. She shrugged, and then began typing on the tablet. I cast a glance at the screen showing her vitals, and was happy to see that her pulse had stopped rising.
"I don't know."
"When did you last see it?" I assumed it was a product of her imagination, some sort of false memory caused by the stroke, and that there never was a key.
"When this happened."
She gestured at herself, referring to the day she had the stroke. Before I could reply, a look of clarity came over her features before she looked back down at the tablet and began typing again.
"Check the hall. I think I dropped it."
If she had dropped the key in the hall, I'm sure my father would have found it by now.
"Please look."
Okay, I'll see if I can find it. I didn't notice anything on the floor when I was out there talking to my father, and didn't really expect to find anything when I went back. But I'd said I'd look, so I was going to look. I shut the bedroom door behind me after stepping out into the hall, not wanting my stepmother to see my half-ass attempt at looking for her imaginary key. I looked to the left, towards the front of the house, and then to the right, where the hall ended. It was empty, except for the little accent table that was against the wall next to the door to the master bedroom. It was one of those tables that had a low shelf on the bottom of it, which was currently holding a small potted plant. Nothing, I thought to myself after confirming that there was no key in the hall. "You didn't check under the table," a voice inside my head pointed out. "I can see under the table from here," I countered. "Not completely," the voice replied. I hated how easy it was for the voice inside my head to guilt trip me into action. "Fine, I'll look under the table." I walked over and got down on my hands and knees so I could peer into the dark corners beneath the table. As I suspected, I didn't see anything underneath it. "Nothing," I said out loud, as if that would keep the voice inside my head from speaking up again. I reached up and placed my hand on top of the accent table to steady myself as I got to my feet again. As I did so, it caused the table to rock a little, sending something clattering onto the bottom shelf. When I looked down to see what it was, I saw a large iron key lying on the shelf. message on her tablet.
You see the door, don't you?
I nodded vigorously. I see it. What the heck is it doing there? Without taking my eyes off of her, I used the key to gesture at the black door across the hall. I waited as she typed out a short reply.
Open it.
What? I hadn't expected her to say that.
Hurry. Before your father gets home.
Did you open it? I turned to glance at the door. When I looked back at her, she was nodding her head. What did you see? She started typing on the tablet.
You need to see it for yourself.
I'm not sure that's a good idea. I gestured at her frail form lying in the bed. Look what happened to you. She was holding the key when she had the stroke. That meant she must have opened the door and seen something terrible enough to trigger a near-fatal physical response in her body. That did not sound like something I wanted to see.
The conditions for the stroke were already there. It was just an unfortunate coincidence that it happened at that moment.
When I didn't respond, she began typing again.
I wouldn't ask this of you if it weren't important.
I don't understand why you can't just tell me what you saw. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she typed out her response.
Because I need you to tell me that I'm not crazy and that what I saw behind that door was real. Please.
I took a deep breath and then exhaled it with a shuddering sigh. Okay. I looked from her to the door. I'll do it. As I walked out into the hall, my stepmother typed out another message on the tablet.
No matter what happens, I want you to remember that I love you.
I love you too, I replied without turning around. Her words weighed heavily upon me as I reached out my trembling hand, sliding the key into the lock and turning it. The latch clicked, and the door began to creak open on its own. Surprised by the movement, I released my hold on the key. The door didn't disappear this time. Once it was opened, I assumed it became visible whether you were holding the key or not. I stood on the threshold of the room. Hello? I didn't know what to expect as I peered into the semi-darkness beyond the doorway. From what I could see, it looked like the room was set up as you would expect a master bedroom to be set up, albeit one from the 70s or 80s. The carpet on the floor was a bit shaggier than the one that was in the house now, and was also a hideous shade of orange. The furniture was just as ugly. The dresser and matching nightstands were blocky and looked like they were coated in some kind of faux wood paneling, as did the oversized headboard of the bed. But the worst thing was the floral printed comforter on the bed. It looked like someone had vomited flower petals all over it. As far as I could tell, there wasn't anybody inside. Despite my dislike of the room's decor, there was an air of familiarity to it that prompted me to take a step inside. The lights suddenly brightened, and a woman appeared in the bed. She was sitting propped up on some pillows, reading a book. I'm sorry. I suddenly felt like an intruder, but the woman didn't acknowledge my presence. She just kept on reading her book. I took a couple of steps closer to her and waved my hands to see if she would notice me. She didn't. She can't see me. When the woman lowered the book and looked toward the bedroom door, I gasped. Now that I could clearly see her face, I recognized her. Mom? She was my mother. The woman who had given birth to me. Her hair was different, but her face looked the same way it had in all of the photos I'd seen of her. I followed her gaze to the man who had just entered the room. Dad? He was a lot younger looking, but it was definitely my dad. I stepped out of his way when he came around the bed and set a glass of water on the nightstand closest to my mother, holding out his hand.
Brought you your sleeping pills.
You didn't have to do that. My mother reached out to take the pills, which she popped into her mouth before grabbing the glass and swallowing them with a drink of water. I stood there in the corner of the room, watching the rest of the scene play out in front of me. What happened next made me sick to my stomach, but I didn't leave the room. I stayed until the scene reset itself, with my mother sitting up in bed, reading a book. I couldn't bear to watch it again, so I ran out of the room and slammed the door shut behind me. When I did, the key fell out of the lock and onto the carpeted floor. I picked it up and dragged myself into my stepmother's room. When she saw my face, she held her good arm out to me beckoning me to come to her. I walked over and collapsed onto her, sobbing uncontrollably. He killed her! The images of him giving her the sleeping pills and then smothering her with one of her pillows kept playing over and over again in my mind. I could feel my stepmother nod her head against mine, signaling to me that she too had seen the same thing. Why? It was a rhetorical question, a thought spoken out loud as I tried to make sense of what I'd witnessed. She responded by holding me tighter. She held me like that until we heard the motor of the garage door opener come to life. I pulled away from her and looked towards the front of the house. Dad's home. My stepmother picked up the tablet and typed out a message.
Don't leave me here with him.
I won't, I promised, wiping my eyes with the back of my hand. It was a promise I intended to keep. I just didn't know how yet. I'll be right back. I walked down the hall towards the kitchen, where the door to the garage was. As I walked, I realized I still had the key clutched in my hand. Having no other place to put it at the moment, I slipped it into the back pocket of my pants. As much as it sickened me, I had to pretend that everything was fine with my father until I figured out what to do. That meant I had to go help him bring groceries in like I normally would. When I walked out into the garage, the big door was still up, giving me an open view of the neighbor's house. When I saw the black door where their front door should be, I froze. I knew what I'd find behind it if I opened it. Death. 4 deaths, to be exact. I was still living at home with my father and stepmother when it happened. There was a gas leak in the house, which led to the family of 4 succumbing to carbon monoxide poisoning.
You okay? You look like you saw a ghost.
I'm fine. I pulled my eyes away from the neighbor's house to look at him. Just tired.
You and me both, kiddo.
He smiled as he made his way to the trunk of the car to retrieve the groceries. I followed behind him, picking up the remaining bags that he left behind. When I turned to walk back into the house, I happened to glance back over at the neighbor's house just as one of their kids was walking up onto the porch. I watched as the kid seemingly walked right through the black door as if it weren't there. That gave me a crazy idea. Hey, Dad? I said after we deposited our bags onto the kitchen counter. I have something I need to show you.
Can it wait until after dinner?
He wiggled the box of pasta he'd just taken out of the grocery bag.
I'm pretty hungry.
I don't think it can. It's kind of important. He studied my face for a moment, trying to read my thoughts.
Okay.
He set the box of pasta on the counter.
Show me.
I led him down the hall to the door of the master bedroom. Along the way, he stopped to close the door to the room my stepmother was in.
You don't need her getting upset. Not after what she's been through.
Oh, the irony of that statement. Without saying a word, I pulled the key out of my back pocket and used it to open the black door, stepping aside as it swung open. With the key in the lock, I hoped we would both be able to see it. My father's eyes grew wide as he stared at the strange door.
How the hell did you do that?
If you think that is cool, just wait until you see what's inside. I gestured into the darkened room as I forced a smile to my lips. He reached out and touched the side of the door closest to him, assuring himself that it was real.
Seriously? How did you do this?
I'll explain everything afterward. I don't want to spoil the surprise before you've seen it.
What surprise?
If you want to know, you have to go and see for yourself. I motioned to the room again, while trying my best not to sound too anxious. He took a step towards the room, but stopped. This isn't working. I need to try a different approach. Mom and I worked very hard to put this surprise together for you, so you better not ruin it. His features softened.
You shouldn't have let her do that. She needs to rest.
She wanted to do something nice for you, for taking care of her.
Okay.
He finally relented and stepped into the room. As soon as he was clear of the door, I reached into the room and grabbed the handle. Sorry, Dad. I pulled the door closed and quickly removed the key. I will never forget the look of surprise on his face when he saw the woman that he'd murdered. My mother, sitting in...
You can tell you white people. 5.
But it still ranks higher than the main.
Yeah.
Yeah, just run.
How did what's her name say it? Unseasonably challenge people.
That's funny. It's true. So I can see why Melissa McCarthy was cast. I still think Lizzo
Would have done. Lizzo.
It would have been cool if Ursula broke out with a flute. Some sort of skeleton flute or something.
Yeah.
And Lizzo just piped out a whole extra verse or something. You know, Lizzo'd it up or something.
Yeah.
You know, put her spin on it.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the scuttlebutt rap. It really did not fit.
It was, everybody loved it on set. We was jamming to that shit for a minute.
Really?
Yeah. It'll get stuck in your head eventually. Cause it took everybody, like the first day we heard it, we wasn't really,
Yeah.
we were like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then they played it the second day on set. And we were like, it's the scuttlebutt. It's the scuttlebutt.
But I did like Eric's song. I thought that was...
Eric's song was nice. It was very pretty.
I almost wish there was a way, and maybe they designed it. Maybe someone's gonna go back in and like overlay Ariel's song and his song together,
Oh.
like a cute little duet or something.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Part of your world meeting
Yeah,
uncharted waters.
yeah, something like that. Javier Bardem is good.
I loved him when he was. But you know what? I think sea movies is going to become his thing. Because the last movie he done where it's involved with the sea was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. People still out there? What time is it? It's 11:46.
And I'm upset because they took out my favorite scene, Sebastian in the kitchen with the chef.
Oh my God. I was so mad when we were on set for that. I was so pissed off about that.
Because I know it has nothing to do with, and I know why they took it out because they didn't have time and everything. But still, that was one of the...
When they did the board meeting, the board meeting was horrible. I can tell you that right now. Because when it was like from what all I know, when they were discussing like scene sets and all that stuff, that
You're
castle.
gonna get out?
Hmm?
You're gonna get out? Okay, fine. I'll kick you to the
I
curb.
was unbuckling.
No, it's fine. Get out.
I was just unbuckling.
Just kidding. I always park next to this guy's car.
Go back around. But no, that castle didn't have a kitchen at all. And all the beach scenes were filmed in Florida.
Doubt they're gonna do that again with DeSantis, but I digress.
All the beach.
Eric gave me like a brunette Ryan Gosling vibes.
Yes. See. I'm not the only fucking one.
Because he's not really...
Well, he's cute, but he's not pretty.
Yeah, it was bugging me because he was almost attractive. It was like it was almost like...
I can't remember what other movies or shows he's been on, but he's been in a lot of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff, but he's been in a lot of stuff as B cast.
Yeah.
So background or non-PC
Yeah.
kind of people.
Yeah. But he has that face. Like, I'm sorry, but he doesn't have the it face. You know, he's not the young Brad Pitt. He's not, trying to think who else. What? It's not like I'm gonna floor it and run into the building.
I don't know with you sometimes.
Aww. Flattery will get you everywhere. Is there a way to get through to the light over there?
Yeah.
Fuckers, go. Go, motherfuckers. God, go, go, go. Fuck! Go! God, ass wipes. You okay? You're so weird. That was something else. Going back to our third or fourth conversation before, I was telling Kat, you know, I don't. Maybe it was because I was homeschooled, probably, or I just don't have the daddy issues. But that conversation when I called you, I said, shut up, listen to me. I don't care. I'm going to go out.
Hide your phone and all that, yeah.
Yeah. And Kat was like, well, how's he going to take it? Like, better than I thought, bitch. Like, he got hard. Like, he got turned on. And I was like, I'm gay, and I don't even get that. Because, ooh, look at the moon.
Yeah.
Because, and that's also why it's hard for me to, like, you know, call someone slut and everything, even in the heat of the moment and everything. It just doesn't, like it just doesn't turn me on at all. Like, I don't get it. But it's just funny. You know, you're gonna have to thank Chris, because all I'm thinking about is getting a harness now.
I used to have one.
You know what?
I just want to.
I want one that like changes colors, like has an LED in it.
Oh, that'd be fucking up. But there's some people who do that during Halloween.
Yeah.
They put a battery pack somewhere.
Well, I mean, like, no, but like it would be like changing colors, strobing or whatever.
Yeah.
Like matching tunic or whatever.
Yeah. There's been a couple times where I've been to the like, cause I'm getting to the point where
We are going to the Patton Creek one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've gotten to the point now where I like really want to start with. that blue laptop because some of it has my work on it. That's if I ain't already lost some of it.
Yeah. See, that's what I was saying. You really need. I mean, Apple is fine and everything, but what I like about Asurion or with the Verizon version, you know, you could have one account. You could have it on your laptop. You could have it on your PC, or on your tablet, and it's all stored. You know, so it's all backed up.
Yeah.
You know, just like an iPhone, but it could be a PC. It could be whatever, and that stuff isn't lost.
Some words of affirmation.
So like I said, you and Kat, you know, you guys are the artists, and you have all these amazing pictures and everything. You know, Kat, you know, she doesn't have. Again, this is why that Tupperware back there, that tote, that's all of her new artwork. You know, that was the main reason why I went back and saw her, was because she was talking about going to Chicago, and I didn't want her to lose all of her artwork. Because she doesn't have her food stamp card, she doesn't have all of her clothes. It's just whatever she can walk out and carry.
She really needs, and I kept telling her. And the other reason why I don't try to like indulge into her too much is I feel like if I do, I'm gonna be like how my mom was with me.
How?
I'm gonna be severely too harsh on her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have the mental capacity to take it.
Yeah. She's been through a lot.
Yeah.
But like you said, she also kind of takes that advantage of that.
Yeah. Because it's not that she takes advantage of people; she takes advantage of her predicament and her situation, and she becomes complacent with it.
Yeah. Which, I mean, is a type of survival. I mean,
survivor instinct.
I mean, there's worse ways it could go. But
Well, I told her there's no reason why you shouldn't have applied by now to have been in an art studio somewhere and sell your work. And then on top of that, you do so well. Why not expand like what all you can do? Because Embassy, there's a painting or a sculpture somewhere in one of the halls. And I was talking to the bellhop, and it was a 24-year-old artist from UAB done a sculpture, and they paid him $15,000 for that sculpture.
Yeah.
So when I thought of that, I was like, damn, Cat. I don't understand why Cat.
Yeah.
But then some people have the talent, they just don't have the.
Yeah. I mean, Van Gogh, you know, he didn't sell but one of his paintings. You know.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
But now, like, and back on the thing about the NDAs, it's just the one thing I messed up was I did not read the fine print of my contract. I was just so hyperactive off of the fact of, oh my God, I'm working on movie sets. Give me the pen and paper now. But when I read that, I did not know that legally I could not work with certain artists unless my manager deemed it was okay or my agent deemed it was okay. And even when I worked with them, there was a security guard or that person's agent or manager that sat my phone in a lockbox. I could not access it until my services were finished. And now if that artist took photos with me and they posted it, that was another thing.
But you couldn't. You're almost like a ghostwriter or a ghost artist.
Yeah.
You know. What the fuck? God, fuck, people. Come on. It is a straight line. Where the fuck are you going? Into the woods? Who the fuck knows? Are you Little Red Riding Hood? What the fuck? God, fuck. It is a straight line, people. What the fuck? Oh, wow, they're busy. close as we're gonna get. So I'm gonna go.
Right here.
That was a bad job. Bad job.
People keep wanting the Little Mermaid movie to fail so bad.
Why?
Because she's black.
That's such a bad reason.
Like they even saying like Disney has become so far advanced with.
But you do makeup and everything, so you're always.
Oh yeah. And I like with my right. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. And probably with your baton twirling
Yeah.
and flag.
Kids, you're gonna adopt? What color? Is there like a preference? Like if they gave you a white one, would be like, oh, this is awesome. And then if they gave you a black one, you'd be like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But technically, you're buying a black person. I just want to let you know. You think you're doing the right thing, but you're really getting back to your roots. You know what I mean? You are a skinhead. No, I'm just joking. Guys, we have to chill.
Who that damn tongue he is. Jesus.
So, what does it mean then if we're going to inseminate and basically have a clone of you?
A clone of me?
Yeah, you said you were going to like use your DNA to inseminate.
No, we would.
So that the buyer's line would.
Oh yeah. Did a mosquito bite me in my face? A fucking mosquito bit me in my face. I'm sorry.
I mean, you are sweet, so. I mean, if not the mosquito, it would be me.
It is going to be. Oh, they're having a baby. Finally.
Oh, there's another place we need to try sometime. Tortugas is right over there.
Okay.
They have like deep dish pizza, like the Chicago style or something. I don't know if they're sit down or what.
But yeah, I don't know. I know we would have to find. I would just be really upset if I had an ugly child.
Yeah, with your jaw and everything.
That's the only thing I'm worried about.
maybe 10% me. Just kidding.
Well, no, I just found out that we can double inseminate. It's just, well, no, you would have to have a black lady.
Oh yeah. How would that work? Because there's new science where
One surrogate can carry 2 separate children.
no, where scientists are actually using all male DNA to have a baby.
Wait, what?
No, not for the man to do it,
Oh, damn.
to carry the baby, but there doesn't need to be a female egg donor. Like they're actually creating.
Oh, yeah, they're separating the chromosomes.
Yeah, so you don't even have to use a woman's egg. I think it could be all.
Artificial womb.
I don't know so far as that, but anyways, the baby would be 100% you.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. Or like what they were talking about, I think it was in the video, it could be like 2 gay guys. So they could have 50-50 and not have a female mixed in there.
We need to do our research.
I'm sure with $1 million house, it comes with something like that. Insemination room or something. Is that not one of the rooms for $1 million? I'm sure there's a tanning bed in there.
You want a tanning bed?
No.
I cannot imagine you being tan. Oh, God.
Oh, you should have seen me back as a lifeguard. I was dark. Yeah, darker.
See, now that image is trying to program itself in my head, and I don't know what to do about it.
I was skinny. I was a twink.
I'm just gonna grab a foundation one day and just find one of my tanner shades and see exactly where I can get you to. I'm sorry, I can't get over Ashley in China. Wait, so he really ain't albino? Oh, that shit was so funny.
Oh, then we try Doobly Joe's sometime. Weird, there's very little traffic.
It's past 6.
But it's a weekend. I don't know, just
Well, a lot of people are already on vacation.
yeah, I guess that's
Well, back it up then.
really craves it.
Oh my God. Man, imagine warmed up.
Yeah, it'll be done. Warmed up. It's good though. Well, flavors: confetti, strawberry, orange sickle or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Curious to try the orange sickle.
That's what's coming out next. Mm-hmm. Damn, they fucked her up.
Yeah, poor Brenda. What? She looks like a Brenda.
She do.
Brenda Lee.
No, because I was thinking Brenda, and then you said it. That's why I was like, wait.
Looks like a Brenda. Just one. Okay. This needs to be an ice cream sandwich with vanilla.
Yep.
Lightly warmed. Here, you can have it back. Lightly warmed, but then vanilla ice cream in the middle, and then it's a dreamsicle.
I'm gonna tell Donna she got one time to touch one fucking cookie. You ain't gonna have issues. Make no damn sense. For this shit to taste this good.
I mean, you were gone just for a week, and she cleared you out.
A little bitch could eat. She looked like Stella when Stella does something bad and she tucks her head. Her eyes get real
in this
big.
video was bring skate culture to the forefront.
Sorry.
He soft launched Billionaire Boys Club, a streetwear brand that he co-founded.
I walked through the door and she said, hey, I went straight to the fridge to go grab something. When I opened it, I said, and she said, I said, Donna, where's all the food? Well, you see, Donna.
They cut back my hours. Is that what she said? They cut back my hours. And my daughter. And Mo Stevie, you know, with the gimp. And you know, just for $1,000 more, I can get my own place.
She actually found a house though.
Good.
She's been trying to damn, Tony, you was all the way up in there. No, she could have been out by now. The guy that owns the house that she's getting it from, he won't call her back. Well, no, he hasn't. He's gone doing whatever, but he still handles business over the phone. Donna used to work with the guy apparently.
Oh, okay, that's the one.
Yeah, and he just like she's done some work for him since she started with him, and he just hasn't gotten back to her on the house yet. And she's like, man, I gotta find, because I told her, I said, you know, within a week's time, you gonna be out, whether you have a place or not.
Yeah.
She said, well, why would they? I said, because I have my court day coming up, which they're going to eventually announce. Speaking of the devil. No, that's not her. My bad.
Did it kind of look like her?
It did. It really did. See, I can't decide if I want to Rav in white or if I want it in a gunmetal gray. This is last one on the end. Hey,
Yeah, it's pretty.
I hate the cat print
What?
on the chairs.
You know what? I always like the cow print.
It's pretty on the cows.
Keep it on the cows.
Leave it on the cows.
Cow print stays on cows. Got it.
That would be our bathroom.
That's not bad.
I'm sick to my stomach. That would have been perfect for the dogs. Okay.
What?
That is an 8-bedroom house.
An 8-bedroom?
That is an 8-bedroom house.
That's why it's so expensive. How many baths?
7.
Damn. Yeah.
3 living rooms.
What?
2 kitchens.
What?
4 dining rooms.
Who needs that much? Damn. Yeah, that's why it's $1 million.
We do.
Huh?
We need that much.
For what?
I'm gonna be embarrassed as fuck when that lady called me back. I'm gonna be so fucking embarrassed. I have actual tears. That's how big I used to be. This is back when we were in school. First came. And this was after I had the surgery. That's how small.
Which surgery was that? Your jaw?
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh yeah, that's when Beyonce announced she was pregnant. That's when she announced she was pregnant with the twins. This was right before my makeup career went off.
Oh, okay. So before makeup, you're just gonna do music?
Yeah, I was becoming a band director. But what kept fucking me up was kept messing me up was music theory. Our teacher, like, I failed my 3rd series. I made it up to music theory 3. I failed the 3rd series because the teacher started teaching. We got a new teacher, and then she only knew how to teach from the standard of teaching cello. She was my cello teacher when I was doing orchestra. But my primary instrument is saxophone. I only popped out cello whenever Mike Gagliardo needed me. So that was the only reason I took lessons, to learn, so that way if somebody missed or anything like that, I could just sight read their music and learn it within like a couple of days. But I really didn't understand the fundamentals, like how she was wanting me to understand them. And so it got to a point where she got annoyed and she just failed me. Like, we weren't even through the semester. She said, don't even worry about coming back.
Wow.
Yeah, but then I reported her and I got her fired. And then her husband, I didn't know her husband was my chemistry teacher. Or chemistry professor. And then he tried to fail me. So when I told him he was doing that shit out of retaliation, they told him to take like a week off from the school.
Wow.
Because they were like, you can't be mad that your wife done something like bad and then you try to do the same damn thing.
Yeah, that's illegal. Yeah, that's called retaliation. It's kind of a big deal.
Oh, Miss DiBiase. Jesus. And her husband, oh my God. And her husband, he's a pianist. And he went with us to New Orleans the second time we went. And him and Miss DiBiase was my neighbors on the hall. I heard them fucking. And the way that man, like he speaks so proper. He's so, like he's purely Italian. But he's also like very, very like private school, well-spoken English. And so all of a sudden you hear, yeah, take that shit, bitch. And all this other stuff. But what was so fucked up about it is like, he sounds like the stereotypical proper person saying it, but it's more aggressive. And I'm like, what the fuck? And the guy's from like Ohio, so he also has that northern accent too. And when he was saying the oohs and the ahs and the yeahs, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Or however the fuck they say it. You know, they enunciate shit different up there. But anyway, yeah, that shit had me fucked up for a couple of days. And Miss DiBiase, they came out that week, it's like a show. We both opened our doors at the same time and I just looked at them. And then Matthew and Jacob was behind me and was like, Carrington, what is it? I said, y'all can't bear witness to the shit I listened to last night. I said, y'all don't understand not a damn thing that I dealt with. I don't want to hear shit from either one of y'all. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this door and we're going to wait 10 minutes before those fucking heteros walk out of this room. They're like, Carrington, we're straight too. I said, fuck you too, you damn heteros. I said, y'all staying in here with this damn bag. So I gotta gauge this shit up a little bit. And then I started playing Beyonce and all sorts of other shit just so I could clear my chi. I used to be an extreme heterophobe. I'm
glad you toned it down.
I used to be an extreme heterophobe because there was one point where that particular year, and this was right when I was getting ready to leave for LA. God, memories. There's are we going to Sam's first? Because I know they closed first.
Yeah, they closed at 1800 or 2200. Sorry.
But I specifically mentally fucked around with this dude so much to make him question his damn sexuality, to the point we finally fucked. And he was like, oh yeah, I think we would, work together and this and that. I said, no, I just wanted the dick. I'm good. And everybody was like, Carrington, you done had this man thinking you in love with him. You are evil. I said, no, this just shows everybody has a little bit of gay in them. And it takes the right fairy, the right faggoty ass. What's the name of the street?
I'll tell you in a second. Shades Crest Road.
Hi Megan, my name is Carrington Byers, and I just seen where you guys just listed your 1909 Shades Crest property, and I was wanting to know some details on that. If you could get back with me at 205-505-5006, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. So next Saturday is Pride Parade.
Okay. I wish I had some wigs. I want to do drag.
Sweet. Now you'll be here. There's the house.
Yep. Are they looking at it too? Yeah,
I like it.
Hold on, let me get a little bit closer to the curb. get a bonus for breaking the sales record or whatever? Nice. Oh yeah, you never did finish. What did Chris think when you told him you have a harness?
He was like, "Can't."
Oh, sorry. I didn't take that corner a little sharp.
He said, "Kim, you can't bring like sexual matter to work like that." I said, "What?" But then when he said it, I was like, let me dig to see how well versed he is, because he doesn't have many gay people around
that
him.
we know of.
No, he does not have.
But he was that frat guy.
That's what I'm saying. So I said, Chris, what the fuck you know about a harness? But he sat up in his chair. I said, don't act all confused now. You done said it. You done said it. Nobody caught the shit. I know. I said, you know what? Let's go get a drink. Let's go get a shot. He said, well, who's paying for it? I said, you are. You the boss man. We gonna get a shot and we gonna talk about this. So we got upstairs when we was around nobody. He said, now what the fuck you mean by harness? I said, I'm gonna tell you what I mean when you explain to me what the fuck you mean and what you know about a goddamn harness. And he was like, well don't y'all wear that when you're I said, are you talking about bears? He said, yeah, is that what it's called? I said, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I said, Chris? I said, do you? No, so I'm skipping too far ahead. I said, well, what do you know about him? He said, well, don't y'all like use them as like, to like grip and shit? I said, Christopher. He said, what? I said, you've been watching gay porn. He looked.
Honestly, I didn't even know that. I just thought it was something they wore.
No, it's a bond. That's why it's so big. Is because it's like a bondage thing. Yeah.
Well, you can thank Chris for educating me.
I want the house so bad.
Don't worry, you're gonna see the house.
I want that one too.
Okay, we'll get side by side. One for Stella, one for us.
No, one to put the family in, so they out of our business. Then yeah.
So I don't know where that one is, but I'll take you to the one I saw. We can go back to that one.
And so he laughed. He was like, no. He said, I said, well, then how the fuck do you know? Because I've never talked about that shit with you. Yes, you have. I said, Christopher, we're not going to gaslight or use reverse psychology with a bitch who knows how to gaslight and use fucking reverse psychology. I was like, you got me fucked up, bitch. You've been watching gay fucking porn. And then the damn bartender stepped in and defended me. He got upset. Well, not upset, but he was like, girl, you don't even know what we're talking about. She said, yeah. She said, I'm a straight woman and I watch gay porn. That shit turns me on. Matter of fact, men.com is my favorite one. Matter of fact, muscle bear porn is my favorite one. And if you're watching, wait a minute, that means you're watching muscle bears. And you do look like a stud anyway. I said, Chris, let me find out. You're gonna be in some trouble. He said, what you mean by that? I said, don't worry about it. And so then, is this the house?
I don't know if we can go in here, but
this is it.
I don't know if someone's living here, but I don't know if people live here. Don't get shot.
I'm not. We're just gonna find out.
If they're so important, especially if you're at death's door.
How is she? stepped out into the hall. He pushed his glasses up the bridge of his nose with his index finger before softly replying.
She's resting.
My stepmother, Evelyn, had suffered a massive stroke the previous week and was just discharged from the hospital earlier that morning. My father, who was a retired family practitioner, had insisted on bringing her home so he could care for her in an environment that he thought was better suited to her recovery. Is it okay if I go in and sit with her for a while? I'd stopped by on my way home from work to check on her and to see how my father was doing.
I think she'd like that. Just don't expect too much out of her.
I gave him a thin-lipped smile and nodded my head, letting him know that I understood what my stepmother had gone through and that she was never going to be the same because of it.
I was just about to make myself something to eat.
He jerked his thumb over his shoulder towards the kitchen.
Do you want something? I can make spaghetti. You always like my spaghetti.
That's not necessary, Dad. I didn't want him to go through the trouble. He'd already had a long day and didn't need to worry about making dinner for me.
It's no trouble, honestly. I could use the distraction. Plus, it's been ages since you stopped by.
Okay. Dinner did sound good, but only if you're making garlic.
Dex Carrington.
What do you want to say to Moonchild?
I'm here.
It says, I'm here. Send it.
Send.
Done.
Bread too. I pointed my finger at him and smiled.
Deal.
He returned the smile. And you better have plenty of Parmesan cheese.
Moonchild said okay. Would you like to reply?
No.
Okay.
Well then,
He reached his hand into the pocket of his pants and withdrew his car keys.
I guess I better get to the store.
You don't have to do that, Dad.
I was gonna have to go anyway. I haven't been grocery shopping all week.
That was understandable, considering he'd spent most of that time at the hospital with my stepmom. I can go instead.
I'll go. You should go spend some time with your mom.
He gestured at the bedroom door. Even though Evelyn didn't give birth to me, she was mom to me. She treated me like I was her own, and if I'm honest, I've always felt closer to her than I did to my father. I have no memories of my biological mother. She died when I was only 3. I've seen old family photos of the two of us together, but all I see when I look at them is some stranger with a child that looks like me. As far as I was concerned, Evelyn was my real mom. Okay, I agreed, glad that my dad hadn't accepted my offer. I didn't really want to run out to the store, but I would have if he'd wanted me to. Hurry back, I'm starving. That wasn't a lie. I hadn't realized how hungry I was until we started talking about food. He responded by pretending to walk in slow motion, something he'd often do when I was younger, and being annoyingly impatient about something. Not funny, Dad. I waited until he disappeared around the corner at the end of the hall before turning to face the door to the spare bedroom where my stepmother had been confined to. The stroke had left her paralyzed on the left side, rendering her bedridden for the rest of her life. The neurologist at the hospital had tried to talk my father into admitting her into a special care facility, but my father refused to listen, insisting that he could care for her better at home. That's why the spare bedroom had been set up to resemble a hospital room. I knocked softly on the door before pushing it open. Mom? I peeked my head into the room to see if she was awake. When my stepmother turned her head and saw me in the doorway, the right side of her mouth turned up into a smile, while the left side remained frozen in place. She reached her right hand out to me, beckoning me to enter the room. I walked over and took her outstretched hand in mine, unable to keep my eyes from watering up. Hi, Mom. She squeezed my hand in response before letting go and pointing at the bedside table. She tried to speak, but I couldn't understand what she was saying. The words came out garbled, like she had a mouthful of ice. Do you want some water? I asked, thinking she was pointing at the glass on the table. She shook her head. The tablet? I picked up the electronic device and held it out to her. Besides the glass, it was the only thing on the table she could be pointing at. She nodded. After taking the device from me, she placed it on her lap and turned it on. My father had given it to her so she could use the text.
Mujeres son grandes, dañan manos bandas, tiene pene blanca, toditas son plantas. Lo que yo soy una volante, santa, cara de micrófono y canta. Bitch, todas mis mami chulas son plantas, mami todo cuerpo, ningún culo.
You look so sleepy.
Me encanta, la ella no me encanta, baila atrás del clan. Tengo una adicción con el lean y la fanta. He matado tantas chapas que ya no sé cuántas. Tu es buena mala, ella quiere que le dé. Yo mueve esa chapa, le puso 7-3.
You don't keep playing around it, you're gonna fuck yourself up one day. Remember that chart? Fuck around, find out. Your fuck around is about a level 4 right there.
Aww.
Damn, there's a bus son of a bitch. Cut.
There's a party going on. What time does Sam's Club close today?
I found several matching places. Sam's Club on John Hawkins Parkway in Hoover is open today from 9 o'clock to 2000 hours.
Oh,
Want to hear the next one?
No.
Why can't you clock me on
Because then it wouldn't piss you off. And your pain is my pleasure. I am trying to give you justification for criminal insanity plea when you finally kill me. Alright?
I'm not gonna kill you. The spirits are.
Oh, okay. As Miss Swan would say, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a bit repetitive. face.
Fucking
Oh, that's good.
chapa, a ver qué es lo que con ella. Dale. Bitch, bueno. Tu es buena mala, ya quiere que le dé. No mueve esa chapa, le puso 7-3. Atrás de la funda yo quiero el FT. Un coro con la gang, dime qué es lo que es. Tu es buena mala, ya quiere que le dé. No mueve esa chapa, le puso 7-3. Atrás de la funda yo quiero el FT. Un coro con la gang, dime qué es lo que es.
Tu chorri es una planta, yo soy su volante y le encanta. Cuando se lo entierro y en la cara se me planta. Yo soy su volante y le encanta. Cuando se lo entierro y en la cara se me planta.
Sigue dándole con tu power spring, mientras que yo le doy clean. El power lo tramite en mi bien. Tú no aguantas más de Dios y yo soy el que tenga el ring. 7-3, Leo, bitch, me dice SaturdayJune. El name para el beat, pa' que entienda esa maldita que cuando más me termine se la traga y la villa le muere suave. Las posiciones se sabe, de ahí abajo tengo llave pa' cuando quiera la clave. Movimiento de la NASA cuando la subo en la nave. Nada más le doy la mitad porque entero ya no le cabe. Ella quiere que le dé con la estrella el PLD. Nada más la subo los jueves y aparece un TBT. Ella quiere que le dé con la estrella el PLD. Nada más la subo los jueves y aparece un TBT.
Una mala, ya quiere que le dé. No mueve esa chapa, le puso 7-3. Atrás de la funda yo quiero el FT. Un coro con la gang, dime qué es lo que es. Tu es una mala, ya quiere que le dé. No mueve esa chapa, le puso 7-3. Atrás de la funda yo quiero el FT. Un coro con la gang, dime qué es lo que es.
Ella quiere que le dé con la estrella el PLD. Nada más la subo los jueves y aparece un TBT. Ella quiere que le dé con la estrella el PLD. Nada más la subo los jueves y aparece un TBT.
Es una planta, yo soy su volante y le encanta. Cuando se lo entierro y en la cara se me planta. Yo soy su volante y le encanta. Cuando se lo entierro y en la cara se me
A ella
planta.
le gusta el pelo, mentira que quiere hacerlo. Si queda preñada, tú tienes que mantenerlo. Atrás de dinero, eso tú puedes verlo. Tú quieres verle peso, nada más tienes que moverlo. A ella le gusta el coro con la 7-3. Porque le compré para el mover. Ella me está tirando, yo le di como es. Si quiere que da vida, yo se lo voy a poner. Espérate, nenín. Vamos a poner a esta mujer a mover la chapa, a ver qué es lo que con ella. Dale.